Where do I look? Are you recording?
You're good, yeah. Wait, wait. Okay, go.
Allison evil. I'm not famous. I'm gonna talk to you about
Moth!
about King Ludwig II of Bavaria. He was born August 25th, 1845 at like 12:35 p.m. I would probably remember better if I was a little more sober. He was the crown prince of Bavaria because his dad, Maximilian, aka Max, was the king, but he died. So Ludwig became the king at the age of 18. How long do I have to go? When people saw him in his carriage on the street, and the girls were like, "Oh my God, he's so hot." And the guys were like, "I don't think he really knows anything about the government," which was true because when his dad died when he was 18, he became the king. Okay, so the war with Prussia exploded, and his younger brother went to war and became mentally insane, probably because he was an incest cousin and stuff, but because of war too, and he was really young, he was 17. So his brother went cray-cray. Ludwig was like, screw this, I'm gonna go hide somewhere, which he did. He went, I don't know where he went, some house on a lake. And so the army was like, where's their king? What's going on? So they went to find him, and eventually after a week they found him in that little house, dressed up like the Swan King from Wagner's Lohengrin, reciting poetry in a dark room.
Go.
The problem was that Ludwig didn't have a fun childhood because I don't want to talk loud, because his mom hated him. And she loved her younger son, Otto. Whatever. So, she would lock him in his room and he would pick on his younger brother, and she wouldn't feed him, so he had really bad tooth decay, and his teeth were all gross and falling out and black and stuff. But people still thought he was super hot stuff. So when he became king, everyone was like, awesome, especially the ladies. So while all of this was happening, he was also supposed to get engaged to his cousin, Sophie, who was the love of his life, Elizabeth's sister. So they were like, ooh, yeah, marriage. Well, he wasn't. He was like, whatever. And then, oh yeah. So it was a couple weeks before they were supposed to get married, and they'd already made coins and pottery and plates and the gown for her when she was queen. They made it all. But then it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and Ludwig was freaking out about marriage. So he was
Hunter.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning, a few weeks before they were supposed to get married, and he was like, go have her try on her crown. I need her to wake up at 3 a.m. and try on her crown. So she woke up. The maid was like, girl, you need to try on your crown, because that's what the king says. Apparently she was black. I don't know. So she starts crying. She puts on the crown, and she's like, this marriage ain't gonna happen. Are you still recording? Okay, ready?
Oh.
So Ludwig was the one who didn't want to get married. He was like, no way, this is freaking me out. I'm really nervous about it. Just have her go on the crown, see if it fits, because if it doesn't fit, then I have a good excuse or whatever to not marry her. So when she gets woken up at 3 a.m., she's like, nobody wakes their fiance up at 3 a.m. to try on the royal crown unless they are really having second guesses. So that's what happened. And she's like, I love him, but he doesn't love me. Okay, so a couple weeks before the wedding, Ludwig's like, go home, whatever. So not only does he lose his fiance, but he also loses his best friend, which is her sister, who's the chick he's in love with, Elizabeth. Because she's like, you broke my sister's heart. Even though we're cousins, I don't want to write you letters anymore, because they could have been I don't want to call you anymore because they didn't have phones. So that's over, he like takes a statue of Sophie and like throws it. He like breaks it in a garden. He literally like breaks it to pieces and was like, "She's gross." It's not word for word, but that's like what he said. So then after that's over, he's like, "Forget this, I'm never getting married, whatever." So he just keeps hiding away from the war, and like eventually he kind of becomes gay and like falls in love with stable boys and gets really fat. And he's like, "I hate life. Everyone hates me because I'm like not helping out with the war. I'm like bankrupt. So I'm gonna make some castles. And I'm gonna go away from reality." So that's what he does. He builds 3 castles, which none of them are finished. Lindenhof, Neuschwanstein. My accent sounds better when I'm drunk. I'm not drunk. And Herrenkinsey, which none of them he ever finishes. So that happens, and by that point he's like totally out of money, and he has to start borrowing money from like Poland. Like Poland doesn't need money. So yeah, so he has to like borrow all this money, and then the other country's like, "No, stop it, like we don't have any money to give you." So he's 41, he has no woman. He has no woman, he has like half of a castle finished. He has nobody who likes him. And the government
Doesn't Wagner like him?
No, because Wagner doesn't like him. Because Ludwig gets really... Wagner's married to this woman, and they're having a lot of like relationship issues. So Ludwig's like trying to help him out, and Wagner's like, "Stay the F out of it. Stay out of my life. Stay out of my personal life." So him and Ludwig like don't talk for a really long time. And when Wagner dies, he dies like quite a while before Ludwig dies, maybe like 8 years or 10 years or something. So, but like when Wagner dies, like Ludwig's really sad. Okay, so just for clearing the air, Ludwig probably was a little bit into Wagner because he had a special room reserved for him at his birth palace, Hohenschwangau. But Wagner was like, yeah, really super straight, so he was like, "I'll go for the stable boy instead." Okay, so Ludwig had like a bunch of plans for a bunch of other castles, but he didn't have any money, so the government was like, "Okay, you're cray-cray, we're gonna like pack you up, send you, like, ooh, Jack Nicholson, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest." So he was like hanging out in Neuschwanstein one day and like, "Yeah, this is my castle, whatever." And the government came in and was like, "Bye, you're going away forever." So Ludwig gets sent to an insane asylum from Neuschwanstein. They take a little carriage, everyone in town's like, "What's going on? You're arresting our king, what's going on?" So,
Pause.
okay, so, wait. Okay, so they're like, and then after a minute they're like, "Oh, we don't really care because he bankrupted us and he made us like lose the war."
Which war?
The war with Prussia, the Bavarian Prussian war. I don't think it was the Franco-Prussian. They were at a war with Prussia. So he goes to this insane asylum, and he's there for 3 days, getting checked out and stuff. And one day his doctor's like, "Let's go for a walk, Ludwig. Let's take a stroll." So they do, and they don't come back. Ludwig is 41. His birthday is August 25th. Like I said, he died on June 31st, 1886. So Ludwig doesn't come back, and neither does the doctor. So the people are like, "What?" So they go out and they try and find them, and they're both dead in the lake.
Which lake?
Steinberg. They're both dead in the lake in Steinberg. But the thing is, back then they weren't smart. They were stupid, and they were like, "I don't know how he died." So nobody knew how he died. He didn't have any like obvious wounds. So like somebody could have come up and killed them both. The doctor could have killed Ludwig and then killed himself, or this is what I think. Ludwig killed the doctor and then killed himself because he wanted to kill himself all along because he hated his life and he hated reality. But the doctor would have stopped him if he would have tried to kill himself, so he had no other choice but to kill the doctor and then kill himself. And he was really fat, probably because when we're all sad, we turn to food. It's just what we do.
Especially in Bavaria.
Especially in Bavaria, lots of wieners. You liked those? I finished my wine. In conclusion, King Ludwig II, his grandpa was the first, and his grandpa loved him very, very much and encouraged his love of architecture. This is a side fact, which is why he built all the castles, because Ludwig was building a castle. He had like toy blocks, and he was making castles out of it. And his grandpa Ludwig I was like, he's gonna be an architect like me, which he was, because he built 3 castles. So anyway, that's a side note. Anyways, he died